Good evening and welcome to Tommy Sounds Up. Tonight what I'd like to do is touch on looking at inspiration in songwriting. How do you go about learning about the way in which your favourite artists and your favourite performers actually put things together and what motivates them? That's a challenge in its own way. Sometimes you don't know what motivates people like the Bruce Springsteens, the Glenn Freyers, the Don Henleys, the Don Walkers, Paul Kellys and others of this world. I only mention those songwriters off the top of my head because they're front of mind at the moment. I've been listening to a lot of their material recently. But there are people like James Taylor, Carole King. Kurt Elling is someone I've been recently introduced to, who has a very interesting songwriting style, very complex music. He's more jazz oriented than your mainstream pop, but it is still great stuff. It is fantastic stuff. So how do you get behind the facade of a musician and understand what makes them tick? Well, there are several tools you can use and there are several things you can look out for. I'm only going to mention a handful of things tonight just to give you a chance to have a bit of a play in your own right, to think about what things might suit you in terms of exploring the work of your favourite musician and your favourite singers and songwriters. One of the people I've been looking at a bit in recent times is Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen is a songwriter I do admire. His songs are cinematic in the way they portray a certain feel, a certain era, a certain moment, a certain mentality. So how do you understand Springsteen? First of all, you can listen to his music and listen to the words and listen to the story. But take it one step further if you want to be serious about it. Look at a book like this. This is a book called Bruce. I picked it up recently. It is a fantastic biography. I'm only up to chapter 3. And already I can see within the mosaic of his early life the way in which his songwriting up to this point has been shaped. There is a lot of tragedy in his family in his early life. He himself was a bit of a loner at school, preferred to think about a range of things other than study. Moved into music very early on, picked up the guitar at one point, didn't want to practice, then came back to it again. It is a fantastic story and it gives you a good insight into what makes the songwriter tick. The other book that is somewhat shorter, I mean the one that I've just mentioned to you goes for almost 500 pages. If you haven't got the patience for that, and by the way this one's written by Peter Ames Carlin, it's called Bruce, worth a look if you're a Springsteen fan or you just like music. Have a look at a thing called A Portrait of Bruce Springsteen, We Are Alive. Written by a gentleman called David Remick. It is an excellent primer on the philosophy of performance art and also songwriting and what life on the road is like for people like the Springsteens and the band Zants and the other members of the E Street Band. It is a fantastic book again. It's insightful. There are a range of passages in here that are very, very good. They're inspirational. So if you're into someone like Springsteen, that's the type of material you might want to consult. Borrow it from your library, or if you're like me and you like collecting that type of thing, pick it up and buy it. So you've got biographies, you've got guides to artists, music and discography. You can pick up all sorts of books related to songwriting technique, what people thought of certain songs. Here's another tool you may want to use when you're trying to investigate the stories behind songs and how things came to be, so you can understand what happens when you yourself write. Here's a book called 1001 Songs, obviously emblazoned with the Rock Whiz logo. Toby Creswell is the author, very well known music writer, has written many things over the years. This book contains a raft of descriptions, background pieces on various songs, 1001 of them as the title says. It is good reading for people who want to understand how things came about, what the significance of certain songs is, so you can get your head around what it is the musicians were thinking about at the time. Now, these are the types of books that are really useful when you're trying to research the artists, the songs, and the types of things they've been doing. There's just a limited sort of thing that I've given you tonight. It's a limited outline. But before I leave you, before I bid you farewell, there is another thing that would be really useful. This is for the singers out there. There are a range of books to do with singing technique and how people should produce sound. One of the more impressive pieces of work is a book called Great Singers on Great Singing by Jerome Hines, principally about opera singers. Now, for some of you, the word opera will be a turn-off. Don't let it be a turn-off. To be quite frank, what you should do, if you are a singer and you are interested in improving technique and understanding technique, this is the type of book that you should get your hands on. Jerome Hines interviewed a range of opera singers, people like Placido Domingo and Luciano Pavarotti, and they gave him a range of insights into how they produce the sound they produce, what their warm-ups are, what their techniques are. Some of these people are the most successful opera singers in the world. The practitioners are the biggest practitioners of their art. If you want to learn something about singing, particularly opera, or just out of general interest, this is the type of book you need to dip into. I'm going to leave you there now. Stay safe, look after each other, and I'll be back again fairly shortly with another segment of Tommy Sounds Off. See you soon.